Mr. Hubbard, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Chairman Van Orden and Barrett, Ranking Members Budzinski and Pappas, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today on behalf of Veterans Education Success. And thank you for your continued oversight of VA on issues that directly affect veterans and survivors and their families. It's our organization's mission to advance higher education success for veterans, service members, and military families, and to protect the integrity and the promise of the GI Bill and other federal education programs. It is with this perspective that we approach today's hearing, with focuses on the digital GI Bill, contracts, and payment disruptions. Modernization at VA is necessary. Nobody disputes that. But modernization that fails to deliver benefits on time is not progress, it's disruption. And the people who pay the price are students who plan their lives around the benefits that they were told they could rely on. The digital GI Bill was intended to replace aging systems with a more efficient, unified platform. Instead, it has joined a long list of technology rollouts that VA launched without proper safeguards or contingency planning, and the result was all too predictable. Recently, housing payments were delayed or reduced without warning, leaving thousands of students scrambling to cover rent, food, and basic expenses. This pattern has plagued VA's technology transformations since the beginning of the post-9/11 GI Bill, when tens of thousands of veterans went months without payments. Then, during the Forever GI Bill rollout in 2018, nearly 180,000 students experienced delays to their housing payments. In 2023, another modernization effort resulted in more than 280,000 students receiving late payments, and VA resorted to mailing paper checks to process some of those. As you can plainly see, last fall's failures were not an anomaly. One student told us that her benefits were missing for nearly 3 months. Her car was repossessed, and she was facing eviction while attending school out of state with no family support nearby. Another student received less than $900 for the month, barely enough to cover rent, leaving him with almost nothing for food and transportation. These are real consequences of leadership decisions. Adding to the stress of missed payments was the noticeably loud silence from VA. VA was aware of the possibility of these issues before students felt the impact, yet there was no proactive warning and no reliable channel for students to get answers. During the government shutdown, the GI Bill hotline was classified as non-essential, leaving students unable to ask for help. It's also important to note the timing of these major technology updates, which were inexplicably scheduled to start at the beginning of the academic term, when even short disruptions can quickly snowball into housing issues or enrollment challenges. We implore VA to stop doing significant technology deployments at the beginning of major academic periods. Based on what we have heard from veterans, their families, and survivors, we offer the following practical solutions to mitigate these issues moving forward. First, education benefits delivery must be treated as an essential function. Second, VA should be required to conduct rigorous testing and independent certification before any update goes live. Third, when VA identifies a risk to on-time payments, it should be required to notify students, schools, and Congress in plain language. Fourth, major system changes should not be scheduled during critical academic windows. Fifth and finally, we encourage Congress to mandate transparent performance metrics that reflect the veteran experience, not VA's internal processes. Student veterans and survivors do not view these benefits as optional. They plan their lives around them. When payments fail, trust in the system erodes, and once lost, that trust is difficult to restore. Thank you for your attention to these issues and your continued oversight. I look forward to your questions.
The chair now recognizes Ranking Member Budzinski for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hubbard, we heard at our hearing in December the VA has not held a monthly stakeholder call for the DGIB program since December 2024. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
What concerns do you have regarding the lack of engagement from the VA with veteran stakeholders as it continues to modernize the DGIB program?
Thank you for the question. We have significant concerns about that. The lack of communication in general is only exacerbates any issue that comes up. As an example, this past fall, when we saw these payment delays with Chapter 35 and others, if there was an exchange of information, organizations that support veterans could have anticipated that, planned accordingly, worked with schools even to make sure that these students weren't, for example, facing eviction. Unfortunately, there was no exchange, and this year to date, there have been 0 of these calls.
Okay, let me try to fit in one more quick question. Mr. Hubbard, your testimony also highlights numerous times that the burden to work around VA contracting and IT failures has fallen on veterans and beneficiaries. This is simply unacceptable. And as I mentioned in my opening, these seemingly small errors often result in large losses and degraded veteran trust. Can you share more about the impact of these delays on your membership and how we as Congress can better support veterans and their family members who receive these benefits?
Thank you for the question. Historically, there's a lack of trust when it comes to veterans coming to VA for example, their mental health needs. Imagine if you're a student who doesn't even get your payment on time when VA's got your social, they've got your home address, your phone number, your blood type, probably your favorite color. And yet they can't even deliver the benefits that you deserve and earned.
Mr. Hubbard, in previous hearings, I've shared some of the stories that our office has received from impacted Chapter 35 beneficiaries from payments being delayed. I appreciate you giving voice to that as well. I know you ran out of time on a previous answer. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything else just to the impacts on veterans, families, and survivors and the stresses that some of these issues at VA cause them. And I appreciate you talking about prioritizing the veteran experience.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Mr. Ranking Member. The reality is when VA asks you to come to them for mental health, but they can't even, which is a big thing for your well-being, your existence, and they can't even get the small things right, like getting your payment on time that you've already earned and already deserve. How do you expect veterans to have that trust in the institution? That's a real loss for America, and frankly, it's a disservice to taxpayers as well.